And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time, fuzz in a disorderly sort of way pedal show. My name is Gabor.
Hey, welcome along. I'm Alex, and we're going to check out the Dreadbox Disorder today.
Yes, brand new, yet not new, but brand new fuzz by the good folks at Dreadbox, and this was provided by Dreadbox, so hello to Greece.
We love this stuff. Please hit like and subscribe on the channel, give us a thumbs up, ding the bell, and comments below. It'd be awesome.
Please do.
Yeah.
So the Disorder, from what I know, the Disorder is a fuzz that Dreadbox used to make that got discontinued, and now they're bringing it back. And it looks like this, with possibly some little extra features that you didn't have on the other one, but I'm not 100% sure because I never had one of the old ones. So basically it's a fuzz with a filter switch where you can go low pass or high pass depending on where you want to go. Fuzz, level, resonance, which I guess works together with the filter. And in the old one, there was some white noise that was introduced with that as well. I'm not 100% sure if it is introduced via this or not, because I don't have a manual for this yet, because this is pre-release, folks. Then you also have an envelope switch where you go, the envelope goes up or envelope goes down. Yep. Because you can do like a funky envelope sweeps. Up here, you've got another control, which is the sensitivity of the envelope. And then you also have these two CV outs, which we'll get into a little later on. We'll plug another pedal in and use some CV outs, where you can actually use the envelope on this pedal on another Dreadbox pedal, or other pedals, or other Eurorack stuff that has CV capabilities. And you also have a filter CV. And just input, output, and Bob's your uncle. So should we make some noise?
Sure. This is a clean tone on the telly. Oh, hit the magical switch of doom. This is a new dance he's working on.
We should mention the setup too. So we've got Alex.
Yeah.
You always do the setup.
Alright. Go for it.
Oh, we've got the Mozztronics Amp Switcher. Hello to Andrew. Which has the Cherry Tone OTS Mini 20 with the racing stripe selected. Which from there goes back to the Mozztronics Amp Switcher. And that has the 2 notes Torpedo Captor X selected, which is Nya. And then from there, it goes straight into this, the NASA spaceship, as someone said in one of the comments.
Apparently. And
then straight into Logic. And then to your phone while you're sitting on the toilet and watching this. So...
Hope you enjoy your toilet sit down. So the Disorder.
Back to the Disorder. Let's have everything at 12 o'clock. I have the sensitivity off, so the envelope is kind of off then. Let's just look at the fuzz just to begin with, right?
Start there.
Okay, shush now. So the fuzz,
It was a journey.
the fuzz, yeah, it was a journey. I was waiting for you to stop.
Too much fun.
The fuzz goes from a kind of a vintagey sort of sounding fuzz to a very sort of broken, gated, kind of crumbly, Velcro-y kind of fuzz, which is really cool actually. Sort of probably about sort of there, 10, 11 o'clock, it starts getting Velcro-y, and then it gets just more and more worlds falling apart as you go up, which is kind of cool. But you can tame it right down if you really want to. There's a fair bit of volume on tap too, so you can, you know, boost amps as well. You basically have this little... okay, let's get into the envelope now, right? So you've got the filter here. In the center, it doesn't do anything. If you go counterclockwise, you go to a low-pass filter. If you go clockwise, you go to a high-pass filter. This is kind of the resonance of the filter, which you see more often on synthesizer-style pedals. Or synthesizers with filters. So where instead of it just rolling off the frequency, it actually boosts it before it rolls off. So you have this resonance. There's a peak before it vanishes, basically. Yeah. So instead of it just going like that, which is technically, if you turn a resonance all the way off, that's kind of what it does, but it still has a bit of resonance there. But it boosts it as it rolls it off. So it has this kind of look, the wave. And then you can bring in a sensitivity with the envelope, where the envelope moves to where it's set to. So you kind of, envelope just meaning if you're not hitting the guitar at all, it's kind of closed and the filter is all the way off. As you're hitting it, depending on how hard you hit it, the filter opens, and that as the filter opens, it brings the envelope up. That's kind of what that means. And the cool thing is you can use that on other pedals, or Eurorack stuff that has CV inputs. So should we quickly check out the difference between high pass and low pass filter?
Sure.
So if we're just staying on that, without the sensitivity for now, and I have the resonance all the way off, let's go to a sort of medium fuzz. That it just gives you that the point where it cuts off. It just gives you that almost. It almost started feeding back, almost self-oscillating there because it was so much. Yeah. You know. So that's the low pass filter. So low pass filter, it's all in the name. It lets the low frequencies go through and it gets rid of the high frequencies. And as you turn it down, the point where it turns the low frequencies off gets higher, lower and lower. So there's less and less, right? So up here, there's nothing. Down there, it's pretty much only low frequencies left. Yeah. Now, if you're going the other way, high pass filter is the opposite. So it gets rid of low frequencies and just lets high frequencies through. So maybe often, depending on what you do, having a little bit of high pass or a little bit of low pass filter gets rid of either low frequencies that you don't want or high frequencies that you don't want. And then the other cool thing, so now the next cool thing you can do is you can introduce the envelope with the sensitivity here. So if you have this sort of fairly low, and let's go to a high pass filter, you've got to strum fairly hard for it to open. And you can't help yourself but going wow, wow, wow. And at the moment it's set to plus. So basically what it is, it means the filter opens and it goes wah. If you go to the opposite direction, it just goes the opposite way. It's like meow,
Meow.
which you can hear better on the low pass filter. It goes the opposite direction, basically. That's what it is. So if you go up here, it's harder to hear up here.
Is that soft attack kind of like?
Yeah, it's just the opposite way. So you can select whichever one you want.
Yeah, cool.
Now, should we very quickly, just because, really with fuzz, what you want with fuzz, what everyone wants with fuzz, what the world needs now
Is fuzz.
Is fuzz with low tuning, sweet low tuning. So I'm going to use my DoomMaster Master Caster Blaster, which has a Bagley guitar, aluminium neck, Vander guitar body, Curtis Novak Thunderbird bass, but for guitar pickups, Herod aluminium scratch plate, Descendant vibrato, Mastery bridge, yada yada yada, and it's true to C standard tuning.
When someone says, "What guitar are you playing these days?" you go,
The DoomMaster.
"Do you have a 5 minutes? I'll explain it to you."
The DoomMaster Blaster Caster, which sounds like so it's in C standard tuning. It's almost like a synth
Yeah.
kind of analog synth. And by changing a pick attack, you can really alter the sound. So because I'm not picking so hard, it doesn't open the envelope. combo amp.
Totally, it's like lo-fi-ish.
Yeah, yeah.
Should we go one step further and get some CV involved?
Yes. So let's introduce another pedal and make them CV each other.
Okay.
So we now have the Komorebi flange, which you can watch a full video on it here, plugged in after the disorder. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do a couple of things that you can do, which are actually kind of cool, which are quite interesting. So you can do stuff via CV without even turning this on. Right. So this is what let's start off. This is what the flanger sounds like on its own. But now, wouldn't it be cool if you could, instead of that just being like a LFO that controls the flanger rate, wouldn't it be cool if you could make that an envelope filter?
What?
Well, you can, because you don't even have to have this on, right? You use one of these little pluggies that you use for Eurorack and stuff, and you go into envelope out, and for example, let's go into rate.
Yeah.
Right? So this sets the rate here of the flanger. So now, if you're playing while this is off, it still uses the LFO for the rate.
What?
But, no, keep playing. Way doesn't work as well. The opposite way doesn't work as well. But basically what you can do is you can control, it's like someone is there controlling the rate knob, right? You can also, if you want, go to the static knob, and now it's back to the LFO. And I mean, that's not even on, right? We're just using it without it being on. Okay, so now the static knob is being controlled by the envelope.
Use that sound all the time.
No, but I mean, you can do it, right? So now you can, and then, for example, so if we go back to, let's say, the rate, right? We can now use them together, and they're synced. So the envelope on here, and the, as in, you know, the filter envelope, and the rate on here are now synced. I mean, all I'm getting at, and I mean, this is what it sounds like without it. This is the same settings. You can get a whole bunch of sounds out of that. Yep. The other thing you can also do is, so this one, for example, has an LFO out. So you can use the LFO. The LFO basically is just a wave that you can kind of see the LFO here. Sort of, it kind of Goes on, goes off, gradually on and off. Again, it's like someone does that, right? That's kind of what an LFO does.
Yep, it's modulation.
It's modulation. So what you can do is you can use the LFO out of here, and you can go into the filter here, for example. Now the LFO now does that to the filter, right?
So what magical world will...
What magical world? And you don't even have to have that on, right? So that doesn't need to be on for it to do that.
It's just bossing it around.
It's just bossing it around, yeah.
Yeah. So it just pulses when you play lightly. When you play hard, it just gonna all hell breaks loose.
Well, because now I also have the envelope out of that going into the static thing here.
So check this out.
It's cool, isn't it?
Madness.
I mean, you can combine it in many ways, and you can do lots of crazy things.
Yeah.
Just by plugging these in. And the cool thing is, what I find the cool thing is, you don't even have to have the flanger on, but you use the LFO, and it gives you that, that effect. Or you can use anything with CV. You can use to control it. You can get expression pedals that have CV.
Sure.
You could plug that into here, and on the expression pedal, you use a filter and stuff like that. So you can do tons of stuff with it.
And even some digital stuff you can use to control it, like the Bebo and the Moduo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's iPad apps and all sorts of things.
Yeah. And you've got the is it a phaser?
Yep.
That's a flanger. We've got the phaser.
That's the G.
Any of the I think that's the three. Actually, I don't think the reverb doesn't have any CV on it. Okay. But I mean, you can do tons of cool stuff with it. The sky's the limit, basically.
Like, we're just mucking around for a couple of minutes, but if you actually put aside a whole afternoon,
there's tons of stuff you can do. Yeah. And then, I mean, you can have more than more than just 3 pedals. You can buy little multiple things where it splits it. The CV into multiple things. So there's tons of stuff you can do. All right, so that's the Disorder by Dreadbox, newly out now. Big thank you to the awesome people at Dreadbox for sending this out to us and a Common Raby. Make sure to check out our link right at the end. It'll be here. Yeah, let's just say it'll be here. The whole playlist of all the Dreadbox stuff, because it's really cool when we get to it. If
there's anything else what you would like to see us do with not just this one, but other Dreadbox stuff as well.
Yeah, combine it all. Even Eurex stuff. I mean, we did a whole bunch of Eurex stuff with Dreadbox modules.
So, yeah, we'd like to... It's kind of like a massive world, so I'm not sure how to attack it. But if you've got any ideas,
let us know.
You'd like to see,
let us know in the comments below. Big thank you once again to Dreadbox. And now the playlist will appear.
Thanks for hanging. We'll see you soon.